Greetings and welcome back to the lab. Let's get back to the Wedge project. I've done a couple of things since the last episode, so let's take a look. For one, I've got it in one of these containers, along with something else that I wanted to do in this episode. This is I'm going to peel that off here. This is what did I call it? Basically a spray can hanger. So when I want to paint my projects, I've got a number of different colors of paint and I need a place to put them. And I decided to design a hanger. Unfortunately, some of it's not quite working out, so I'm going to need to print some more. But say this is the top part and this is the bottom part, and they're supposed to line up. And the plan was I was going to have a rod that went in here, but this didn't print out all that well. I'm not going to get rid of I'll get rid of some of it, but it turns out that the failed prints can be useful for other things. So let's get this real quick and take a look. I printed out a new rod, but I printed it with a skirt and support, and I'm hoping that I can just peel this off. And that'll give me a higher quality rod that didn't fail like the others. And I only have to do a little bit of sanding to get it. But the idea now, as opposed to the previous one I had done, is that this will fit in here. I'm going to have to sand it down a little bit to get it there. Something like this. This is just a really quick demo. I just want to see if I got the dimensions about right. And I need to do some cleanup between this, and that. But hopefully what'll happen is that'll go in there. And then once I get it in, I'm going to melt it at the other end. So instead of using bolts, which end up costing me a fair bit of money, it occurred to me to make a solid rod. Now, when you print this, you're going to want to print it at 100% infill. Let me just see if this will actually fit into any of the others. Well, I'm going to have to print another top because when I print the tops, I keep getting this stepping problem. And I'm trying to figure out how to solve that. Maybe the solution is going to be a skirt. So it stays, because there's very limited contact area down here. And I want to make sure that it stays adhered to the plate when it prints. So that's probably going to be, I wasn't using skirts for much. I wasn't using them at all. But now these seem to be the thing that'll save me from a lot of the printing problems I've been having. This has happened a few times now. So that is that project. I just wanted to show you that real quick. And I have now reprinted the body of the car. And I wanted to take this apart on camera and show you a few things. So again, I've got a skirt here. I'm going to try and bend this back. It's also got supports, because if you recall, this one had a problem where for some reason it warped right here, but it was printed this way. So it doesn't completely make sense, except that it was probably because it was trying to span from here to there without any support. So my hope is that these supports will come in handy. Let me grab a pair of pliers to try and help me rip this off. Nice and shiny, I'll say that. It's going to take very little processing, I think, unless the whole skirt comes off when I do this. No, well, it's going to take some sanding at the corners. Let's see if we can't get this off. And again, I'm probably going to save this material in case I need it for a repair. It's the same color, although in the end, I'm going to be painting this. So that's why it doesn't matter what color filament I printed in. And this was, when I got to the printer, there was a different filament loaded in it. And I just said, you know what, that'll work. And it was a full roll, or almost a full roll. Wow, that's getting rough. We're going to have to do some real sanding on this. I'm trying to do this quickly because I have one more thing I want to do in this episode. Let's see if I can get that off. Yeah, that should sand off pretty quick. It's supposed to be just one layer. So now let's see if we can't free up the windows. First of all, we got this support. Interesting. Oh, it's stuck to the... It's stuck to the skirt. That gets that part out. I can see it's still kind of warped. And I'm going to have to get this out. Let's go with a spudger, maybe. Yep. That's kind of freeing it up. This is going to take a bit more work. The last one I printed was without supports. And I don't know that I can control how many supports it adds in. So if there's anything that it deems needing support, I have to then clear it out afterwards. We have to look into that. If somebody knows, please comment down below. This is a Dremel printer that I'm using. Get that out. I'm trying to pull it out rather than push it out. That's still kind of warped. We're going to have to figure out what to do with that. I also made another modification to the... Is that support material? I'm going to leave that in there for the moment. Let's see if we can't get some of this other stuff out. I made a modification to the car, which was another reason to go ahead and reprint it. Okay, that's support material for the dashboard right there. This might prove problematic, and I might have to come up with another solution to printing this. Live and learn, though, and like I said, the whole point of this series is to take you along the way and show you what I encounter. All right, I'm going to leave that alone for the moment. What I really want to get to is these here. And let's see, can I... I'm hoping these windows will be cleaner. All right, let's go for this side. And this window. I know that this one right here is including the pillar, the B pillar. I don't want to mess with too much. Let's just see if I can get some of this to come out. Usually when you do this, at some point it just kind of magically comes out. This one is really fighting me. And I think that's because it's supported inside and out. Yeah, there's your inside support. All these little pieces, the smaller stuff, I'm not going to save. It's not worth saving. Oh, wow. Did I damage it while I was pulling it out? I can see a little problem there. Well, that should be where the B pillar is. But there we go. That's starting to come out. Now, I'm doing this in a hurry for the sake of the video because I don't want it to be a really long video. So maybe what I'll do is abandon this window and do that off camera. I just wanted to see if I could get it to kind of come out so you can kind of see, but I think I've actually done some damage while doing that. Now that may be easier damage to clean up. There's also all the support back here. There we go. Wow, maybe I shouldn't do the support. Maybe I should find some other way. Like with the windows, maybe I could put something that's easy to cut out that would also act as a support. And then I don't have to worry about the windows so much. I'll just create my own supports. Never done that before. That'll be an interesting thing, but it's not going to be so easy to see. I'll try and zoom in. But what I did was I put a bar right here. I hope you can see that second level. And the idea was that there's also a couple of little holes right here. And the idea is that we can print another piece and put it on the bottom. I didn't have a facility for that before, and I need some way to mount something to the bottom so that ultimately when we get this all cleaned up and ready to go, then we can actually put wheels on a bottom piece and then have it sit and roll. It'll also kind of button up all the wires that'll be running through here for all the lights. So that is the idea. That is this. Now, there was one other thing that I did I want to get to, and that is when I was dealing with these windows, I decided it just was not looking quite good enough. So I wanted to try an experiment. And one of those experiments was I printed it super high quality, but I only printed this part of it. So let me clean up just a little bit here. All of the little pieces are supposed to be there. I've got one itty bitty little one there, but what I want to do, since one of the uh, light bars, whether it's the headlight or the high mount tail light, those, one of them didn't print right. So I'm going to keep this because it looks like it printed okay at super high quality, and that's going to be really hard to show on camera. It's not clear like I want it to be, but I have a potential solution for that as things ping about, and I'm going to have to do some cleanup. But my thought was heat might solve the problem. So I have a heat gun. And this is just a cheapy heat gun. This is not the one that comes with the soldering station that you see on other channels. But I'm going to try, and now that I think of it, when the air comes on, it's probably going to try and blow it away. Okay, it started to warp. My hope was that if it melted slightly, it would be that much clearer. I have not tried to print the windshield. I can try and do that separately. I don't want to mess it up completely. So let's take, you know what? Let's take one of the windows, which is bigger. Yeah. I just want to see if I melt it slightly. Does the texture go away or... put that back in there. Does the texture go away? I know that with some things, when you apply heat, the translucent material will get clearer. So that's what I was hoping with this, and that's the experiment. So far, it's not quite working, but let me try again with this one piece. Doesn't look like it's helping. I'm kind of hoping it would. In fact, actually, it looks like it started to warp. Yeah, it's a little warm for handling, but that is what I was hoping it would do. The other possibility is to use a soldering iron to apply heat, but that is, I think, fraught with a lot more danger than this is. So I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one. I do want to see if the white will actually clear up a little bit. Another good reason to hold on to this. Let's put that back. Now, this is just purely me trying to see what'll happen with this. So I'm going to wrap up here and we'll just finish off with the videos on the screen that you can watch. And I'm just going to see if this one turns clear. Thank you so much for watching. All right, well, that's enough of that.